The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim is one of the most popular open-world RPGs ever made. Even years after its release, new players continue to discover the game for the first time. One of the reasons Skyrim remains so engaging is the amount of freedom that it gives the player. The game rarely ever forces you onto a specific path. You get a whole world to explore, you get a character to develop, and you get a whole host of quests to approach in a bunch of different ways. Some of them aren't worth doing at all, but you'll have to figure that one out as you go. Whether you've been playing for 4,000 hours or 40, we all started on that same wagon with no idea what Todd had in store for us. Turns out Todd had a bunch of ways to screw everything up straight away. These are the 7 mistakes that all new players make. Just before I get started, this video was bought and paid for by our wonderful YouTube members and our generous patrons. The links to all of that stuff is down in the description below. Number 1. Attacking the chicken in Riverwood. One of the first settlements you're likely to reach after escaping Helgen is the village of Riverwood. Early in the game, it's common to test the limits of the world by interacting with anything and everything that moves, and the animals wandering around the village are the easiest targets. The most well-known example of this is the chicken in Riverwood. Now, animals owned by villagers are treated as property within the game's crime system, so killing one counts as a crime in the same way that attacking a guard or stealing from a shop does. When this happens, several NPCs may become hostile to you. Because this encounter occurs near the beginning of the game, you typically only have limited resources and very low stats, which can easily lead to you getting unceremonially pasted before your adventure even begins, especially if you manage to aggro one of the essential NPCs like Delphine. Best advice? Treat the chickens like the peaceful beasts that they are, and the good people of Riverwood won't have to tear the last Dragonborn to pieces over a 5 gold bounty. Number 2. Not saving often enough. Another common issue occurs when you rely mainly on autosaves. Skyrim does create automatic saves in certain situations like entering new locations or resting in a bed. These saves offer a basic safety net, but they don't appear frequently enough to cover long periods of gameplay. After all, the world is full of unexpected dangers. You might turn a corner only to come face to face with that one cave that has all the bears in it. You might fail to notice that big obvious pressure plate on the floor of Bleak Falls Barrow. You might even fall from a great height, even though I am certain that you know how fall damage works. Wife? There's a lot of ways to die instantly in the wilderness. If your most recent save occurred ages ago, you're going to have to repeat a large section of progress. You can avoid this, surprise surprise, by just saving regularly during your playthrough. Creating manual saves, especially when you're out exploring or before difficult encounters, keeps all of your progress secure and prevents a lot of backtracking if something unexpected happens, which it probably will. Number 3. Fast traveling everywhere. The fast travel system is one of the most convenient systems in Skyrim. After discovering a location, you open the map and you can instantly return there from almost anywhere outdoors except this balcony for some reason. The feature reduces travel time and allows you to move between cities and other locations more quickly, but it's easy to end up relying on it for nearly every single journey. The world of Skyrim contains an enormous number of encounters and little discoveries that appear while moving through the wilderness. If you choose to manually travel across the country, you'll often meet wandering NPCs and encounter new locations that never appear in major quests. If you want to experience everything that the game has to offer, travel the old-fashioned way. Walking or riding between destinations allows more of these encounters to appear, and reveals parts of the world that can easily be missed if you constantly teleport everywhere. Number 4. Accidentally selling that important item. Inventory management plays an important role throughout a playthrough. Exploring dungeons and completing quests quickly fills up your inventory with equipment, treasure, and more potions than you are ever going to use. You're going to spend a good chunk of your time back in town selling your unwanted item to one of Skyrim's dozens and dozens of merchants. However, when selling large amounts of items, it's all too easy to slip into autopilot and accidentally sell something that you intended to keep. This might be your main weapon, some fancy enchanted armor, or an item obtained during a long quest, and while merchants do keep recently sold items in their inventory for a time, which allows the player to buy them back, often that comes at an eye-watering markup, especially if your speech skill is low in the early game. There's no special trick for avoiding this, just make sure you're actually paying attention to what you've got selected when you're selling stuff. You lemon. Number 5. Messing with the giants. While exploring the open world, you'll eventually encounter giants living in camps with their mammoths across the wilderness, like this one here in Bleakwind Basin, just west of Whiterun. Giants have a huge amount of health and deal an enormous amount of damage with their attacks. Skyrim gives you free reign of the entire map from the second you escape Helgen, which unfortunately makes it all too easy to wander into one of the giant camps long before you have the equipment or stats needed to not get immediately pasted. If you aren't planning on seeing the top of a cloud today, maybe leave the giants alone until you're strong enough to take them on. Or try and sneak into their camp to loot their chest if they have one, but it's your funeral. Number 6. Accidentally killing your follower. Followers are companions who travel around the world with you and assist in combat, with some followers having looser definitions of the word assist than others. There's a good chance you'll be recruiting a follower early on because companions not only make fights easier, but you can also give them a bunch of stuff to carry around. This effectively doubles your damage output and your carry weight. During fights though, melee-focused followers will, to the surprise of absolutely nobody, move closer to the enemies that they are trying to kill. Often this places them in the direct line of fire for your spells, arrows, and sometimes your melee attacks as well. Some followers, like Lydia, won't be killed by enemy attacks, instead she'll drop down to one knee while she recovers her health. She can be killed by player attacks, however, so if you're getting reckless with the flame spells early on, there's a good chance you're going to burn your housecarl to a crisp, and you're going to have to carry 300 units of extra weight back to Whiterun yourself. My advice? Pick up a follower like Mercurio in the Bee and Barb, who's a powerful mage. He'll stay out the way while blasting your enemies with fire and lightning and probably won't hit you. Number 7. Picking up Meridia's Beacon. While exploring Skyrim, you'll eventually come across an item called Meridia's Beacon while searching a chest or container after you hit level 12. This item begins a quest connected to the Daedric prince, Meridia. This quest activates immediately as soon as the beacon is picked up. Meridia contacts you and directs you towards Mount Kilcreef, where the rest of the quest takes place. Meridia's Beacon and the quest associated with it gets a lot of hate. Mostly, I imagine, from doing the quest equivalent of running out from behind a bush.
A new hand.
The quest itself is pretty good, but at level 12 you are not strong enough to fight the evil wizard at the end of the dungeon. Safest bet is to leave the beacon where it is and let Meridia handle her own problems. Or, if you're like my own infant son and you can't help but pick up every single object you get your grubby mitts on, take the beacon but then save actually doing the quest until you're a higher level. Trust me, it will save you an enormous amount of time not dying to Malkoran's blizzard spells over and over and over again. And those are the 7 mistakes that almost every single new player makes when they first step into the world of Skyrim. If you've played Skyrim before, you've definitely had at least a few of these happen to you. And if you haven't played Skyrim before, then this is a very strange channel for you to be on, but I'm glad you're here. Anyway, like, comment, subscribe, hype the video, all that tasty engagement stuff that High King algorithm loves, and I will see you when I see you. Bye. An enormous thank you to the good and cool patrons, especially the Thanes of the City, Elisafia XX, Eldridge Rolls, Remix 2000D, Sniper Lord 696, Narfrak, Rubber T60, and Late Night Baker 24. As well as our coffee funders, Kyle B and Ross with 10 S's. And of course, our lovely YouTube members, Elisafia XX, Sniper Lord 696, and Remix 2000D. And just before I go, 2 things: check out the channel artist's Tumblr, there's a link in the description, and join the Discord, why not? There's like 90 of us, it's a good time.